Welcome to the channel, everybody. On today's video we are going to be looking at this zero turn. This happens to be a Lesco 54-inch. Now your Cadet tank will be the exact same mower. The issue that we have is a little bit of a jerky steering, especially when you're trying to back it off of a trailer or putting it back into a trailer. The steering seems to be super touchy one way or another. That does tend to rip up the yard sometimes too when you're turning. Now that's a very common issue with pretty much any zero turn. Now first thing you want to do is you want to take a look at all the linkages that are attached to your steering, to your sticks here. Steering system is actually fairly simple. You have your sticks here for forward and reverse, and they are linked to the wheel motors. There's arms on the wheel motors that these linkages go to. Kind of hard to see on this particular mower. Now before you go replacing any parts or anything else, you want to check to make sure there's no other play in the system as far as all your linkages that are for the steering. And looking at underneath on the pump motor itself, you have the linkage. It's going to be kind of hard to see. So here's this arm that's right on the pump itself, and your linkage comes in through here. I've seen a lot of these are loose, and that'll cause your steering issue from one side to another. There's a set screw right in the center on this one. Sometimes those come loose, and then that's wobbling around on you. Depending on your mower, some of them have like a square nut. Same kind of a concept, but just a different screw. Those are actually better. Sometimes these tend to seize in there. Anyhow, you want to check both sides on this. Mine's nice and tight. And of course, you want to check the rest of the joints on the steering linkages. Make sure there's nothing bound up or something that's loose causing issues. All the linkages are okay. Another common failure is the dampeners on these. Now all the mowers are a little bit different. On this particular one, the dampeners are right here. You can see where it links to that. And on the back, it's bolted on here. They give you a little access hole to the bolt in the back. I have a new set of dampeners here, or shocks, or neutral return struts or shocks, whatever you want to call them. They're all pretty much similar, but different as far as where they are on the mower and how they link to the steering system. Now this is basically kind of like your hood struts that you'd have on a car, except this has kind of a two-way motion, a pull and a pull, and it returns automatically to this position, which is a neutral position. Common failure on a lot of your zero-turn mowers. Now one way to tell if they are bad, if you move your sticks, this side on this mower has no resistance whatsoever. The reverse or forward. This one does a little bit. This one is bad on this side for sure. There's no resistance whatsoever. So that resistance not being there is what gives it kind of the jerkiness feeling as you're turning or moving the mower back and forth. Because there is no resistance, it's kind of loose, and it's moving your wheels reverse or forward. So we'll go ahead and replace these dampeners. Now all the mowers are going to be a little bit different. This being a Lesco, again tank, Cadet tank will be exact same mower. We will have to remove this upper cover here. One bolt here. There's one on the front here. And actually, there's none on the back. There's one here on the inside and one here. And same thing on the other side. So I was able to remove the top cover here. I just got it set aside. You can't completely remove it because of the cables going to it. So now with that removed, again, just 5-10 millimeter bolts. 2 on the sides, 2 in the back, 1 up front. That lifts off, and that gives us full access to this dampener here. Now you can see where it's hooked up to our steering. So we'll be removing that. Easy enough to do. There's 2 13 millimeter bolts, 1 here, 1 up front here. Now the back has access through here, so you can actually use power tools to get that one off if you need. You will need a wrench for the one in the front. Now sometimes this center bolt does seem to turn. There is a T40 bolt in the center, so if that's spinning on you, you can try to put a Torx bit back here to hold it while you're loosening those up. Or you can just grab the center here with the pliers. You just don't want to damage the new ones holding them that way. So we'll get that off and get the new one installed. So I was able to remove the old dampener from there. Of course I wiped it off a little bit. Now we'll go ahead and install our new dampener using the same hardware. So we have the new dampener in on the left side here. We'll go ahead and put this cover back on. Then we'll repeat the same process on the other side. So now we have the new dampener on the right side also. Now this side is pretty much exact same, except you have some electricals on this side. You want to make sure those get plugged back in before we put that top panel or the cover back on. So I was able to button everything up, and I did take it for a quick ride, and the steering feels much better. A fairly easy fix. These dampeners, again, fairly common item. As you put some hours on the machine, they tend to wear out. It's just basically seals in there or springs or what have you, and that tends to leak, and then they just don't do their job. Hopefully this video has helped somebody out. We're going to be doing plenty more to this old zero turn, so stay tuned for more videos. I thank you for watching.